Today is my last week back home here in Sweden, which means that our overall mood has switched from super happy that I'm back home here seeing my family again to especially my parents being a little bit sad that I will actually go back to Taiwan again. And that is actually what I want to talk about in today's video, what my parents are actually thinking about me going back to Taiwan. But I also wanted to give you a little bit bigger picture and to share what Sweden and also the rest of the world are thinking about Taiwan these days. And I have to say that sadly the COVID golden days of Taiwan is not really what covering the news these days, since the situation with China and US-China with Taiwan in between is what is taking up most of the Taiwan-related Swedish news these days. In fact, when our largest evening news magazine listed the top 10 most important news of 2022, Taiwan was actually top 10 on that list with the headline Taiwan Next International Crisis, and with everyone comparing Taiwan and China with, as we all know, the situation in Ukraine and Russia. So with that said, I don't think that anyone can blame my parents for not wanting me to go back to Taiwan again, but that is where I have my girlfriend and that is where I have my, well, I was gonna say that's where I have my home, but I will actually be homeless when I come back to Taiwan again, so that's another challenge that we're facing me. As we all know who are more familiar with Taiwan, this has been an ongoing situation for literally decades, but I think that this is actually the first time where we have a concrete year of, at least according to China, when they will be ready to come and invade Taiwan, which of course doesn't have to mean that they actually will come and invade Taiwan at 2027. And I of course also understand how it's been such a huge shift in just the overall mindset when it comes to Sweden and Taiwan relationships just within 6 months from last time I was back home in Sweden, because back then, just 6 months ago, there were no concrete plans on anything, at least not being reported in Swedish news. So I do feel, at least the people I am talking with out here in the middle of nowhere, there has been a bigger awareness regarding Taiwan-China situation, and also some worrying thoughts, at least regarding my own personal situation back in Taiwan. But before we end this a little bit shorter video today, because as I mentioned, this is my last few days back home here in Sweden, so I just want to spend a little bit more time with my family before I am heading back to Taiwan. I do want to share a 165-page long document on what would actually happen with Taiwan if China would decide to invade Taiwan, which is the biggest thing that are being discussed in Swedish media these days. But before we go into that a little bit depressing report, I just wanted to thank, so sorry, but I did forget whoever sent me this beautiful YouTube cup. I just wanted to say that this cup is actually being used back home here in Sweden now, with me using it every single day, and then I think my mom will take over this cup when I'm leaving. And I just think it's super cool that I actually am able to, first of all, get something from you subscribers, but then also bringing it back to my family. And sadly, I didn't record anything, but when I showed my mom this cup, she got super happy, and she just thought it was amazing that I do have such an amazing fans and subscribers. So on behalf of my mom, thank you so much for this nice gift. But over to a little bit more not so nice news. So basically what is being reported in Swedish news now is this 165-page article named "The First Battle of the Next War, Wargaming a Chinese Invasion of Taiwan." And of course, we're not gonna go through every single article, but just like I did when it came to the Taiwanese voting rules and regulations, I actually read through this report as well. Not everything word for word, but I did find some, well, not so pleasant reading this time. But basically, to cut this short, I just wanted to share this result, and basically what they have done is that they have gone through 24 different scenarios on how China would invade Taiwan, and then what would happen with surrounding nations, surrounding countries if they would intervene, and basically listed out the 24 most likely scenarios. Well, regardless if you believe in the sun gods or coincidences, there's no more fitting that the sun actually disappearing right now and putting a little bit more darkness over the entire country right now, since we are going into the details of this report. Basically, this report was done by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, a non-profit policy research organization dedicated to advancing practical ideas to address the world's greatest challenges. So, officially, the Chinese invasion of Taiwan is again considering one of the greatest current challenges. The invasion always starts the same way. An opening bombardment destroys most of Taiwan's Navy and Air Force in the first hours, followed by the Chinese Navy encircles Taiwan and interdicts any attempts to get ships and aircraft to the besieged island, followed by tens of thousands of Chinese soldiers across the strait. However, in a little bit more positive news, in every single one of these 24 scenarios, Taiwan will actually be able to defend itself. Well, technically not itself, because it will require the assistance of both US and Japan. But assuming that at least US are helping us, Taiwan will actually be able to withstand an invasion. However, this will come with great cost, and this article is estimating that 3,200 American soldiers will actually get killed during the first 3 weeks of this war. And just to put this in perspective, this is actually more than half of the manpower the US have lost during their own wars in Iran and Afghanistan during the last 20 years. And although Taiwan will be able to withstand the invasion, Taiwan will be left in a huge economic crisis and also have to completely restart their entire electric infrastructure and a lot of other basic services as well. And the absolute worst case scenario is if no other country is assisting Taiwan when it comes to this invasion, then it is estimated that China will be able to take over Taiwan within the first 3 months. So yeah, all of the sun is coming back here to light a little bit more light over the overall situation here in Sweden. Just know that this is what the Swedish news readers are reading about Taiwan these days. And I think it's just very important to discuss this as well, just so you who are watching this from Taiwan get a little bit more understanding of that people nowadays don't really associate, sadly, Taiwan with the amazing COVID response, which again has been the Taiwan headlines here in Sweden during the past 2 or 3 years. So I just want you to be aware of that. So if you do see any more tourists or any more visitors, especially from Sweden, on the streets in Taiwan, please be very, very kind of them, because they have actually either been bribed and convinced by the 5,000 NT gift to actually come and visit Taiwan as a tourist, or maybe they haven't even read the news at all, or most likely they have been informed about the situation, but still, because of either the delicious food, the amazing nature, beautiful beaches, or maybe, what else do we have in Taiwan? Or maybe they have seen one of the fellow foreign YouTubers who have spent the last 4 years every single week trying to promote Taiwan in every single way possible. And if that is something that you want to support, please do consider to subscribe to this channel and maybe even becoming a YouTube channel member, since all these donations from the membership and the super thanks will go straight back into the channel in order to make better and more videos about Taiwan every single week. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. Starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one. You know, I don't know if it looks that warm and comfortable right here, but I try to pull off a classical Swedish fika situation here and just share some casual thoughts with you today. But it's freezing cold. It's actually 2 degrees right now as I'm recording this. My hands are like freezing. I have to say, this is one of the things I'm not gonna miss about Sweden when I go back to Taiwan. It's just how incredibly cold it is. It's like the coldest I've ever been for 11 years. And you know, it's 2 degrees right here now. It has been like minus 15, I think, the coldest during these past 6 weeks. 2 degrees now is like colder than it is in your fridge in your kitchen, and minus 15 is like what you have in the freezer, like you freeze things. If you forget the milk outside during night, it doesn't go bad, it goes ice, you know. And yeah, it's just very, very different life. But I have to say though, it has been absolutely amazing to be back home, and you just cannot compare it with your life in Taiwan. I'm super excited to go back home actually, but it's just so different, so different. I have some big plans of my new life in Taiwan again as soon as I come back, which I'm super excited about, including no, I'm not gonna say anything, but yeah, it should be absolutely amazing. And I just hope that, as I know a lot of you have been with me during this last 4 years journey, and you have seen 2 apartments through this YouTube channel, growing from my first apartment living with myself, and then living with Yuan, and then now it will be a new era on the channel, living with Minthia as well. So I'm super excited. It's gonna be completely different and very scary, but yeah, I'm super excited. Super excited. Still haven't found an apartment yet though. That's a little worrisome. So if you watched this entire video, including this nonsense talking of me just sharing what's literally on top of my mind right now, please bear with me. There might be very irregular videos until I found my new apartment, my new studio. So if I maybe not post anything for a week and a half, just know that we will be back bigger, better, hopefully more videos than ever before. I have amazing plans. Super excited. Now I literally have to go and pack now. My flight is actually leaving 2 days from now. So tomorrow I'm meeting new friends, saying goodbye to my family, and then it's up 5:15 on Monday morning to go to Taiwan. See you there.